All right, I know what Habs fans are going to be thinking. Whoa, 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 Johnny, slow the phone down. Why can't we just keep both? Keep both of these guys. And I understand that line of thinking, but hey, I mean, for a rebuilding team who's already got Nick Suzuki and Kirby Dach down the middle, two very young, good centers, I understand the line of thinking of third-line center and fourth-line center having these two guys who are still relatively young. They're both on the back halves of their 20s. And on nearing somewhat, in DVORAK's case, expiring contracts, why not just keep both? I get it. Look, the cap hit is too high for both of them. Yes, after this season, let's be real, Monahan's contract comes off the books. He might be making something closer to $2 million, and then it's a lot more palatable. However, Sean Monahan, trust me, a guy who's watched every game in his career with the Calgary Flames, as a fourth-line center, not effective. As a 3C, or maybe as a backup option for a second-line center, he could still be effective if he's healthy. DVORAK, however, looks to be really, really tightly slotted in as a third-line center. There will be people who will try to argue that he has second center line potential. And sure, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, show me the way, man. Okay, show me the light. But I don't see it. I see this kid, 26 years old, as really penciled in as a third-line center for the rest of his career. So, to me, one of these guys on a rebuilding team, it'd be different if one of them was like Jake Evans, for example, or one of them was younger, okay? If you're looking at a 22, 23-year-old, it's a different story. But 26-year-old for Christian DVORAK and almost 28 for Sean Monahan here, I do think that one of them is going to end up going. More likely DVORAK, but for a guy who honestly, in Sean Monahan, looks like he could maybe bounce back a little bit. It's something to look at as like, hey, if we walk into a trade deadline where Sean Monahan's got 13, 14 goals, could we flip him? Could we flip him for something juicy? And it's a good discussion to have. I would love to see Sean Monahan, just because I have a personal affinity for the guy. Like, I've loved him since he came into the league. I would love to see him re-sign with the most rich, storied, popular franchise in hockey and become a star again. That would be awesome. But the reality of the matter is, he's going to get looked at as trade bait if he has a good season. Again, maybe he can re-sign. He can live happily ever after, kumbaya, as the third-line center of the Montreal Canadiens for the next 3, 4, 5 years if he has a good one this year behind Suzuki and Kirby Dach. But the reality, again, is that he might get traded. However, if we're looking at DVORAK versus Monahan, this is where I want your guys' opinion. Who would you ship out? Because you've got Monahan at 1 year left. It's $6.3 million. And then after that, most likely, he'll be making anywhere from $2 to $3 million. Here's the thing with DVORAK. He's got this upcoming season and then 2 years after that with a modified no-trade clause that kicks in at the start of the 2023-24 season. Yes, he only makes $4.45 million, but that modified no-trade clause and the fact that he's got 3 years left at a pretty hefty cap hit for a guy who's going to be a third-line center, to me, that makes DVORAK, even though he's a year younger, that makes him the more attractive option to be shopped out in a trade. I do think so. And as far as ceiling goes offensively, and even as a player, I think right now, this is the Spider-Man meme, okay, with the two Spider-Mans looking back at each other and being identical. I think these two guys are a wash. They're the same, if you want to keep that. I think as far as offensive potential, Sean Monahan has the edge. You're talking about a guy who has multiple 30-goal seasons. I think he's like 7th all-time in some kind of Flames record for scoring and things like that. So obviously the potential is higher. I mean, the most that DVORAK scored is 18, but I do think that this is something that's going to be looked at. It's not cut and dry. It's not clear. I think it's going to be a discussion, and it also depends on the return they're going to get. Like, if they get a first-rounder back for Sean Monahan, I know that's a pipe dream, that's a fairy tale, but let's just humor me for a minute. If they get a first-round offer for Sean Monahan, but only a third-round offer for Christian DVORAK, sorry, Sean. You know, like, it's something that's going to be looked at here, and that's why, to me, this is such an interesting discussion, because who would you guys keep knowing all these factors? I think if Sean Monahan can carve out a role for himself as a third-line center consistently for the Habs, who can produce 10 to 15 goals, maybe 35, 40 points a year, you're cooking with gas. Okay, when you got Suzuki, Dach, and MONAHAN there, and let's say Dach gets injured or something, MONAHAN could maybe slip up into that second line center role. You're really looking good there. So that, again, this is just things that you have to look at for the Montreal Canadiens. And one of these guys is going to be gone by the trade deadline. I'm banking on that. Okay, on a rebuilding team, got two guys who are on the latter half of their 20s who are going to generate interest from other teams. One of them's gonzo. But the question is, who is it? So again, let me know who you guys think in the comments down below. Who would you rather keep and why? Probably going to put a poll up about this on the channel as well. So let me know what you think there. If you're new here, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, notification bell. Follow me on Twitter at JohnnyHockeyYT. And make sure you have a good one today. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.